Hi, this is a video about completing the square, and I'm completing the square of a function of a quadratic function. What the aim of completing the square is that helps us finding the minimum or the maximum of a quadratic function of a parabola. But for this particular video, we are going to concentrate and completing the square only. So the part of the question on a quadratic question will be express these quadratics in the form x plus b squared plus q. So we need to change that into this. I've got a method that is quite structured, so just follow the instructions and do my way and you will get to the answer. There are some other methods that will get there quicker, but I like this one because it's very structured. You always do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the coefficient of x, so the number in front of x. I'm going to half it and square it. So half of 6 is 3, squared 9. Now what I'm going to do with the 9 is, first of all, I'm going to rewrite them too. Now I'm going to add 9 to my function, to my quadratic, and I'm going to take away 9. So I add the 9, which is half and square of that, take away 9, and then re-add the 10. The 10 was already there. So all I've done is I brought the same as this, and then I added a number and took away the same number. So this is exactly the same as that. Why did I do that? Because now this is a perfect square. Because if you look at the factorization, what two numbers timed together will give you 9, and same two numbers added together will give you 6. And the answer is 3 and 3, because 3 times 3 is 9 and 3 plus 3 is 6. So we should actually write this as x plus 3 times x plus 3, okay, which in fact is x plus 3 squared. So that is x plus 3 squared. And now minus 9 plus 10 is 1. So your P and Q on this of this equation are P is 3 and Q is 1. So we changed that and to look like this, and here it is. Okay, example number 2. We have x squared minus 8x plus 14. So again, number there in front of x, the coefficient of x is minus 8. Half is minus 4, squared is 16. So x squared minus 8x, add 16, always add the first, and then take away 16, and then rewrite your 14. Now, why did I do that? So I get a perfect square. So what two numbers timed together will give you 16, and added together will give you minus 8. Be careful. Here the answer is minus 4. Because minus 4 times minus 4 is positive 16. Minus 4 plus minus 4 will give you minus 8. Minus 16 plus 14 is minus 2. And that's in that form again. Notice that that number there is always half of the coefficient of x. Okay? So for this kind of questions, there are 2 marks, and 1 mark is for that part and 1 mark is for this part. So worst case scenario, you don't remember how to get this, at least get 1 mark by writing that, which is the number is half of the x. Okay, let's keep going. Y minus 10x minus 2, minus 10, half, minus 5, squared, 25. I'm going to add the 25 and take away 25. And then I'm going to rewrite my minus 2. Perfect square. What's half of that is minus 5, so we are, oh sorry, that's a y. So that would be y minus 5 squared, which is minus 5 times minus 5 is 25, minus 5 plus minus 5 is minus 10, and them two together makes minus 27. Be careful on signs. Okay. Right, let's get to a couple of a little bit more complicated ones. Now, x squared plus 5x plus 2. Why is this one more complicated? Because that's not an even number. So when we say half and square it, half of 5 is either you can use a fraction, 5 over 2, or a decimal, which is 2.5. So I'm going to use a fraction to start with. So half of 5 is 5 over 2. Square it. If we square 5 over 2, we need to square top and bottom, so it's 25 over 4. So I'm going to add 25 over 4 and take away 25 over 4. Now, perfect square, which in my bracket, the second number will be half of what is in front of x, using fractions. So I'm going to use 5 over 2 squared. And now I need to, oh, forgot the plus 2 there. Now I need to calculate this. So minus 25 over 4 plus 2. When we add fractions, 2 is the same as a 2 over 1. So we have to change the fractions with the same denominator. So we have to make the 1 a 4. So we time both top and bottom by 4 to make 25 over 4 plus 8 over 4. So now the answer is going to be 17 over 4, minus 17 over 4. Using fractions. You could use, or you can change that to a max number. You could use decimal, so you will have here 2.5 squared is 6.25, so then you can work with decimal. That will be perfectly acceptable too. Okay. Okay, last one. The last one is when the x squared is negative. That's a little bit of a problem when that is the case. So what I'm going to do is take minus 1 as a common factor. So minus or minus 1, doesn't really matter, you don't need to put a 1 there. Minus as a common factor. So minus times what will give you minus x squared? Be x squared. Minus 1 times what will give you positive 2x? So it will be negative 2x. Negative 1 times what will give you positive 7? Negative 7. So basically what I've done, I took minus as a common factor and I changed all the signs. Negative becomes positive, positive becomes negative, positive becomes negative. Okay, and now I'm going to work with the things that is in the bracket. So that half of that, the same thing I've done before. Half of minus 2 is minus 1 squared positive 1. So add 1 and take away 1 and rewrite my minus 7 there. Now I know that this is a perfect square, which is x minus 1 squared, because it's half of that, and them two together will make minus 8. Okay, however, I still have the minus in front of the bracket, of the whole bracket. So I have this, if we want to make an extra bracket here. So we have minus all of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that out of the bracket. So when I move that out of the bracket, I will need to change the sign. So pretty much, I'm timing the minus by this and the minus by that. So when I time this by that, we'll get minus x minus 1 squared, and that one will become positive. And that's the final answer. I hope that this is clear enough. Any question you can ask, but this is completing the square, including the negative coefficient of x, or coefficient of x squared, and I hope it's clear, and thanks. Thank you.